like WWE style, like Michael Cole, yeah, somewhere in the field in the back behind the barn, like, oh my God, the proclamation, like the chokeslam proclamation. Chuck sent me this hysterical tweet, and it was a picture of old Abe Lincoln freaking choke slamming the hell out of some dude, and everyone was watching. I almost thought I saw a guy with a phone filming it, like in the illustration.
Yeah, I like came across a tweet. I think Trill Withers, formerly of Barstool, left that racist organization. Glad for him, happy for him. Funny dude to follow on Twitter if you aren't following him already. So I guess in the thing, it kind of implied that Abraham Lincoln like invented the chokeslam, or that he'd been doing it like predating, modern professional wrestling. So we started bouncing ideas back and forth, and I was like, imagine like his signature move before the Emancipation Proclamation chokeslam would be like the figure 4 score years leg lock. And like I was just thinking just now, I was like, imagine like he had that big ass hat and like he brought it to the ring, and it'd be like Jake the Snake's like snake bag, and like he pulls out like a fucking like badger or some shit.
I was picturing it too, because in all the photos and all like the accounts about Lincoln, he was always like very, very, laid back, and he was very quiet and reserved, and he was like very prudent. I picture him coming out with the jacket, stovepipe hat, and ladies and gentlemen, Abe Lincoln. Riz Ramon used to take off his chains and like go to a guy. I could picture him taking it off. Let's get busy.
It's crazy. Imagine like he did like a heel turn. The show is like in front of like a whole bunch of like white like slave owners, and like he turns like abolitionist mid program.
Oh, he a tag team match. Frederick Douglass. He's like,
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass is going down. It's like he going to get the hot tag, and Lincoln jumps down and puts his hat back on. He was like,
And then
I'll see you in Gettysburg.
And then Frederick Douglass is just like he's in like a tag team match against like who's the guy that shot him?
Oh, John Wilkes.
Yeah, I was about to say Aaron Burr. He shot somebody else.
No, that was Hamilton. That was Hamilton.
Yeah, he shot somebody else. Yeah, he's in like a tag team match against John Wilkes Booth and like Andrew Johnson, and like Frederick Douglass comes running running down the aisle like Ultimate Warrior. His hair just like that nappy fro just bouncing left and right. It's like, by God, by God, by God, it's Frederick Douglass. It's Frederick Douglass. It's the fugitive, Frederick Douglass.
He's not even supposed to be here, man. He's not even supposed to be here. You brought up Aaron Burr. That was the whole Hamilton thing, and they made that super, super successful play out of that in a movie. I think it's time to make Lincoln, bring that on stage. I know they've done a bunch of movies about him, and then it just, it'd be like the wrestler,
I was just about to tell you. I'm like, let's copyright this before somebody like takes it away from us, and we make Lincoln the wrestling stage play. Like I seen an episode of like South Park, and it was kind of like parodying WWE. So they went to like they went to Raw in like Denver, and they were so captivated by like the promos and like the theatrics of the match. And I've said this on the show, like I'm not really, or I've said it to you, Mike, that like I'm not like I want to watch like the match. I don't care about like like I like the promos more. I like because I got into wrestling in the Attitude Era, so I'm like more of like a storyline guy. They start like a wrestling promotion in their backyard, but they put it on and they act like it's a play. Like they write the scenes and like they wear costumes, and like the crowd, like they're drinking wine.
And so I dreamed every night that I was the Undertaker, smashing skulls and breaking arms. But I'm
Damn, dude, that is some badass wrestling. Yeah, this guy crushes.
Vince comes to see it. He comes to scout them, and like they have him sitting in like oddly enough, one of them boots or one of those boxes that Abraham Lincoln got shot in. So we got to do that. We got to do like the Abraham Lincoln wrestling play, and we got to write songs and shit.
Well, all right, let's do it. I got time. I got time on my hands.
Mike, whip out your old electronical keyboard and let's just go crazy with it.
That whole thing. I actually found out
Mm-hmm.
it was an actual account.
Right.
Yeah, well, he was taking on like a group of dudes. He threw the guy out into the crowd, and then he looked at the crowd and he was like, "Does anybody else want some?" And like the quote is like, "Try it, come at me, wet your horns." And I was like, "Shit!" He actually had a freaking slogan.
Wet your horns.
Wet your horns.
Just have it on a t-shirt. Shirt. Wet your horns.
I'm the buck of this lick. That's his second T-shirt. Apparently, that's what he said as well.
Damn, this dude had like a whole he was like he was probably like John Cena. Like he had a new shirt like every week.
Hey man, he liked the theater. He liked the theatrics, and he could also work. He was a good worker too. He had a good work rate. A babyface name, they called him Honest Abe Lincoln. He was living that kayfabe WWE style, and I think everyone always talks about Trump being he's a WWE wrestling. He's like the personification of wrestling in the politics and stuff. So I think we need to take it back and let's give it all due respect to Abe Lincoln.
Like damn, he like invented the chokeslam. So Big Show, Undertaker, Kane.
Like even Razor Ramon did one.
He
did a big dude. He was like 6'6".
Yeah.
And Abe Lincoln was 6'4", apparently, and the hat too. He was like 6'8". So
yeah, so yeah, they probably had. But you know how like wrestling is, like they exaggerate like their heights and their weights and shit. I legitimately thought Big Show was like 500 pounds, and then you come to find out like he was like 380.
Apparently, Hulk Hogan had like lifts in his boots,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's actually an account, like there's like a quote that Abe Lincoln was like, "Yeah, I'm 6'4", but without my lifts." Like he actually said it. Like he was like, this dude apparently he was a showman, and I guess it's ironic that he died during the show, but
Yeah.
oh well, he's a good president.
Well, that's how you think, performance artists, or guys who, how to, like to rise up a crowd. They tend to become president, as we've seen today. Abraham Lincoln, wrestler.